out. And so we like to thank you for your usual attention to Ghana. I thought because of COVID, all of you were distracted and somehow your attention had, been diverted to something else. But I'm happy to know that you're still taking an interest in what we're doing here because a lot of things have been happening, especially in the lead up to the election. But in our country, we have a problem with the Electoral Commission. I'll talk about the economy later. But there have been incidents leading up to the election that creates a certain anxiety about whether the election is going to be transparent, free, and fair, and whether it's going to be devoid of, any chaos or disorder. And we want you to take note of it. The Commission has failed to follow due process. In some cases, even the legal, provisions, they've failed to follow it. In other cases, they've introduced new things into the electoral process too late and too close to an election, and we're beginning to suffer the results of that. A late registration of voters has led to late exhibition, omission of names. It gives us very little time to correct before we go into the election. And I'll just give an example. They announced that they've taken 30,000 names out of the register, after, going through the register. They haven't published the names, and so we don't know whose names have been taken off. People are going to get there on election day, and they say your name is not in the register. And there might be a genuine reason why they should be on the register. We've not been told, who those people are, why their names have been taken off. A lot of things have gone wrong. We've filed nominations with a provisional register. It's never happened in this country, where you file nominations for presidential and parliamentary using a provisional register. And it's even after we filed that they said 30,000 names have been taken out. And so if a voter, who believes he was registered, signed my presidential nomination form, and you've now taken his name out, it means that my form, Yes, yes. So a lot of things have gone wrong, in terms of the processes, but also in terms of the violence associated with the processes. You remember the by-election we had last year, which led to, quite serious harm to many individuals. The pronouncements of government officials, that by-election violence was a dress rehearsal, and that the real thing is going to happen on 7th December. Commission of inquiry was set up, identified the perpetrators of that violence. Government rejected the commission's report. Most of the commission's report refused to act. The same characters who were involved in that violence are today walking around still carrying the same weapons that they used to cause that violence. It manifested again during the registration period. People lost their lives, gunshot wounds, stabbing. About 3 people were killed during the registration. Deployment of the military, in some parts of the country to intimidate voters, from coming to register. A lot has been going wrong, that we feel a bit anxious about.